joining me. I'm Mike Hardigan. If you're interested in making a living playing keyboards, this video is for you. It's the beginning of a series where we're going to talk about reading chord charts and sounding like you really know what you're doing. This will be an overview, and in the next few videos we'll start to look in depth at some of the vocabulary that can be used in different styles of music. I'm starting the series assuming you already know how to play and spell basic chords like C or A flat. If that's something you still need to work on, there are plenty of videos out there on the subject, and I've linked to one in the description. Okay, let's get started. We'll begin looking at a really basic progression. Suppose Steve Snappypants heard you playing at the Bumble Stump Tap, and he was impressed by your burning licks. He asked if you'd sit in with his band on Saturday, or maybe come by the studio and lay down some tracks. So you show up, and he hands you a chart that looks like this. Pretty simple. So you could play something like this: C, G, F, C. Now that sounds a little lackluster, and this is a big step that's going to make it sound 10 times smoother and more professional. Voice leading. You want each note of one chord to lead nicely into a note of the next chord. So think about the inversions. This is a root position C. If you take this bottom C and put it on top, you have the first inversion. If you take this E and put that on top, you have the second inversion. Now, if you start with the root position C and move to a first inversion G, this C moves to a B and the E moves to a D. That's good voice leading. Now down to a first inversion F, all of the notes are next to each other, and then finally a second inversion C. These two lead quite nicely. So altogether this sounds so much smoother than this. And you can do it starting in any position. We could start with a first inversion C, second inversion G, second inversion F, root position C. Now, let's do it with the band. When you're playing with a band, it's really important to do your best to lock in rhythmically with their pocket. The bass player can cover the low end, so you can be sparse with your left hand. So let's think about some rhythms for the chords that'll work with a generic groove like this one. You can play block chords on half notes, or quarter notes, or you could split the chord between your fingers and thumb like this. Or arpeggiate it like this. But always making sure that your rhythm is locked in with the bass and drums. Also think about what register you're playing in. Down here sounds a little more aggressive, while up here tends to sound a little lighter. You might play up in this range for a verse, and down here for a chorus. And if the bass drops out for a breakdown, you might consider doing something with light arpeggios like this. Also think about the keyboard's role in staying out of other people's way. If the vocals are high, you can play low. I'm a placeholder. And if the vocals are low, you can play high.
Yeah, I'm another placeholder.
Think about what you're doing to make the rest of the band sound good. Being a part of the groove, not stepping on other people, not necessarily just looking for a spot to show off your chops. That's what's going to make you look like you know exactly what you're doing and make a great impression on a band leader, so you keep getting calls for more gigs and more sessions. If you're curious about anything I just went over, or have any suggestions or tips on how to make chord changes sound awesome, please leave me a comment below. And if it's your first time here, I'd encourage you to subscribe, because I'm really excited about this series of videos that are coming out every Tuesday now, where I'll really dig into the specific grooves and licks of some of the different styles you might find yourself playing in. And I'm making these because I believe that a good career playing keyboard is possible, That starts with being professional and solid in your craft, being ready for anything, and playing with feeling. Thanks for watching.